This is Chris Hero, and you're watching WGS-TV.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestlingGamer. Well, first and foremost, I'd like to apologize to everybody for the Royal Rumble review being as late as it is. With this, the recording of this video is actually Wednesday. There's been a lot of stuff going on personally. It's been very hectic. It's been very difficult for me to find some time this week to actually sit down and record some videos, some wrestling reviews for you guys. But I do have an opening here. So what we're going to do on this Rumble review, since it is as late as it is, we're not going to do full-on in-depth on every match. We're going to talk about two of the big matches, but I will read off the results of the Royal Rumble in itself. And if you guys just want to read along for yourself, you can look in the description box by expanding it down below. The kickoff match, it was the New Day taking on Cesaro and Tyson. Kid would hit a Fisherman's Neckbreaker on Kofi to pick up the win. The first match of the Royal Rumble was the New Age Outlaws taking on the Ascension. The Ascension would hit the Fall of Man on Billy Gunn to pick up the win. The Tag Team Championship on the line. The Usos defending against the Miz and Damien Mizdow. With that one, it came down to Jimmy Uso hitting the Samoan Splash on the Miz to retain the Tag Team Championship. The Bella Twins taking on Natalya and Paige. Nikki Bella would hit a forearm smash on Natalya. You heard me right, to pick up the win. And now we're going to look at the World Heavyweight Championship match. There was a lot of talk about which way this was going to go. Joining me on the review for this, guys, first off, it's the hardcore host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, Rick Head. Rick, how you doing?
I'm covered in fucking snow.
Rick is in the Northeast, guys, where they've been hit with the blizzard, if you guys didn't know that by now. And also joining us is our resident music mogul over on YouTube.com/LanceMossTV. He is the Tug Tone lover, Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
Billy, shucky ducky quack quack, you bastard.
Well, anyway, looking at this match, I gotta say, because I really don't want to give credit to somebody who I really don't respect too much in the form of Brock Lesnar, but they were in Paul Heyman's territory in a sense, with it being Philly and ECW area and stuff like that. And needless to say, Rick, Cena and Rollins carried that match because Brock Lesnar really didn't do very much in this match.
Yeah, I think the only thing he did, as we talked before, was pretty much just take moves and just pop up, and that was it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's really all he did. I think one of the most bigger major talking points, especially for the indie guys out there, is the fact that Seth Rollins hit the Phoenix Splash on John Cena during the match. And I love, because the following night on Monday Night Raw, they were actually conducting an interview because Monday Night Raw got postponed because of all the blizzard activity and all the travel bans that have been happening. And I love how Seth Rollins actually corrected Michael Cole on camera, Lance, about the Phoenix Splash. I thought he really put some emphasis on it, and it's the Phoenix Splash it's called, Cole.
Very true. Made famous by my favorite frontier martial arts wrestling wrestler, Hayabusa. And, well, let's face it, the only way Michael Cole knows what he's talking about is through that little earpiece he has.
Yeah, that somebody has to tell him what to say.
Yeah.
Unlike some other commentators you guys might know. Finish of the match.
Somebody they actually fired.
Well, yeah.
Wore the cowboy hat, doesn't live in the Bahamas.
Well, anyway, guys, the finish of the match came down to Seth Rollins hitting Brock Lesnar in the face twice with a metal briefcase. Lesnar no-sells that move and then catches Seth Rollins and hits the F5, and therefore retains the championship, much to the delight of the people in Philadelphia. And I think if Paul Heyman wasn't with Brock Lesnar, then they wouldn't have cheered and basically orgasmed all over themselves the way they did for when Lesnar retained the championship that night. But that's all I'm going to say about that. On to the Royal Rumble match. First big talking point, Rick. Daniel Bryan enters at number 10 and then just gets eliminated, I want to say about 10 minutes later, and the crowd just immediately just turned on the Rumble itself and just did not give anyone else a fair shake. Do you think it was right of the fans to do that?
Well, I think I can understand why the fans did that, because, of course, the fans have always been behind, Daniel Bryan, because, when he came back, they were very psyched to see Daniel Bryan back in the ring. But it's just, as we talked about it last night, it's just not something that's not realistic. And that's just something that the fans just weren't ready to understand.
Exactly. The Schleg Daddy over on OTR Essential and his YouTube channel, it said exactly the same thing about it. It's unrealistic for Daniel Bryan right now to be shoved right back into the spotlight because, truth be told, isn't that what they did with Batista last year? Isn't that what they did to him? And what happened with that? The fans just immediately turned Batista and started booing the crap. Now, I'm not saying that the fans would have turned on Daniel Bryan because of the overwhelming support and how over Daniel Bryan is in the WWE. Because, regardless of what anyone else says, Lance, Daniel Bryan is an extremely over person, which kind of, when you think about it, you kind of expect that kind of response from such an emotional crowd like Philadelphia.
Yeah, and about last year, the reason people were so pissed off, let's not forget how Batista left the WWE screaming, "I quit," in the middle of the ring, then he's right back in the title picture. What the hell's up with that? But anyway.
That storyline, though,
well, it's still, you go from storyline screaming like a little girl to in the title picture. It's, but I understand why the people were pissed off, but they were pissed off because Daniel Bryan didn't get the time he needed. Because let's face it, do we really want to see Daniel Bryan coming right back off an injury and then get injured again at WrestleMania by Brock Lesnar? Because he has had a hit past of hurting people legitimately. But also, when they saw Brock Lesnar win, I even said this on the HCBR predictions video that didn't air, that if Brock won, Roman was going to win, because that was back in announced, sort of, quote, leaked back around last SummerSlam. They wanted to be surprised, because honestly, to me, back when I saw that, didn't really see the drawing power of that match but that's just me. But I am quite impressed by what I saw Monday night.
Rick, one of the big major rumors about the Royal Rumble that night was the fact that The Rock was spotted in Philadelphia that night. Now, be that as it may, with Roman Reigns winning and the fans just literally turned on the WWE at that sense, for some reason, canceled WWE Network is still trending on Twitter, which I think is really an asinine move to do. You're going to cancel your subscription to WWE Network. So what? When you get back into wrestling, you want to watch a pay-per-view, you're going to spend $6 on? When you could just do it for $9.99 a month? Really? And then you're also going to give up NXT? You're going to give up Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn next month? 2 weeks. About 2 weeks' time on NXT TakeOver. You're going to give up that? Really? Just because of one move in the WWE that you did not agree on? Seriously, folks. Seriously. But get back to what I was saying. They used The Rock to try to come out and kind of save that last segment, which, The Rock did get a pop from the crowd. Didn't last, though. Didn't last. The Philly fans were still angry over the whole thing that happened. But, Rick, do you feel in your mind that they could have possibly utilized Rock in a different manner than what they did at the Royal Rumble?
Well, to be honest with you, I've already canceled my WWE Network. And as far as The Rock, I feel that The Rock should have won the Rumble.
He should have been in it and won it.
Yep, and I've already canceled the WWE Network. No, I'm just fucking with you. Who do you think I'm kidding? Come on, let's be realistic. Anybody who said cancel WWE Network, either A, is full of shit, or B, doesn't have the WWE Network. So, you know, whoever did that hashtag is full of their own shit. So just drop it right there. Because on the next pay-per-view, anybody who did cancel it is going to be screaming and crying and be grabbing for their network back. So cut the bullshit, guys. As far as The Rock goes, I honestly thought that The Rock was going to be in the Rumble, and I thought he was going to be the one to beat, to win the Rumble, and then go on to face Brock Lesnar, because he was going to want his rematch finally. But thankfully, that didn't come to pass. And then when I saw Brock, when I see him, saw Roman Reigns win, and that he was going to, Rock was going to be in his corner, that seemed to make more sense.
Let's talk very quickly about the series of interviews they did on Monday Night Raw, and I'm talking about Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns and that face-to-face that they had. And one of the things when we originally did this review, one of the things we originally said is, they have to work this properly for it to start gelling and start getting over with the fans. And Lance, I'm going to ask you this first. After seeing what we saw on Monday night with that little face-to-face confrontation between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, do you think they're starting on the right foot?
Yes, as long as they have Brock speak as little as possible and have Paul speak for him, because that bastard don't need to have a mic nowhere near his mouth.
When he says the word baby in any form, in any facet, in any sentence, it is just so utterly monotonic and robotic. They want to talk about how Roman Reigns can't cut a promo. Lesnar cannot cut a promo to save his life. That is why Paul Heyman is with them, and that's why he has the spot that he has. Rick, same question to you. Do you think that WWE is starting off on the right foot with the angle between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar with that face-to-face confrontation from Monday Night Raw?
Yeah, you know what? I do think it is the right, right step in the right direction. And you know what? I think on SmackDown we're going to see a little bit more of that. And I think, believe it or not, despite the blizzard of 2015, could have probably helped them out, because the fact that they had a studio show for Raw, and now that SmackDown is going to be pretty much what Raw is going to be for SmackDown was going to be what Raw was. Yeah. It might help. They might have another interaction. And to also answer about what Brock Lesnar has about being on the mic, the only thing worse about having him being on the mic is that fucking tramp stamp that he has. Have you guys seen that yet? That's freaky.
Oh, God. And final talking point about the Rumble this year, guys. I mean, it didn't occur on the actual show. It actually occurred on the fallout of the Royal Rumble. If you guys watched it on the WWE Network, if you weren't being such a little bitch to cancel your network subscription after the Royal Rumble in itself. And that is what everybody is calling, and what I would like to call, Rick, the genesis of the Cena versus Rusev feud. We were all pegging Ryback to be the first one to pin Rusev anywhere, even at a major pay-per-view. But now, from what it looks like on television, because we on the original one we did kind of report that at a house show that it was Roman Reigns to officially first pin Rusev in the ring. But since WWE really doesn't report on house shows anymore unless they do a title change or something like that, and I can't even remember the last time they've done a title change at a house show that WWE actually reported on. But so officially at a house show that Roman Reigns has done it, but on TV and on paper. Do you feel like in your mind that's what they're building up Cena and Rusev for? Do you think Cena has to be the one to be the first one on TV or pay-per-view to officially pin Rusev?
You know what? I can absolutely see this happening. Although, if Ryback, I don't want to see Cena winning the title though, because it wouldn't make sense. I don't want to see Cena winning the U.S. title. For him, that would be kind of like a step back. So I could still see Rusev. I'm sorry, excuse me. So I could still see Ryback, beating him and then maybe somehow, you know, Cena getting it along the way. I mean, they've been teasing it over on HWR. We've talked about this a couple of months ago that maybe Cena could win it over, you know, at WrestleMania. So,
but let me ask you this: if they do put it on him, what if they brought back the United States title spinner belt?
No, absolutely not. No, it would no. I think that's taking a step back, and the WWE doesn't want to take a step back.
We just get rid of the other spinner belt.
Yeah, it wouldn't fit. It wouldn't make sense.
Lance, same question to you about the whole thing with Cena and Rusev.
Yeah, because originally I feel that, because we all know WWE was in talks with Angle at one before he re-signed. I feel that it was pretty much down to Angle or Cena to beat Rusev for the first. Well, television beat him the first time. Let's just call it that. And since Angle did not sign, they had to go with Cena. It's the only other option they had. So, and I hope Rusev beats him at in Memphis at Fastlane, and they carry it on and let it have its moment on at WrestleMania for his streak or undefeatedness to end there.
Do you think it would mean more at WrestleMania than it would at Fastlane?
Yes.
Interesting point there.
More Mania.
Oh, yes, exactly. What being the grandest stadium of all. Yours truly attended WrestleMania last year when it was in New Orleans. Unfortunately, I will not be attending the one in San Francisco because that is just a tad far from my taste. However, I might do Texas next year. Anyway, guys, overall score on the Royal Rumble. I thought it was an overall decent show, despite some of the fans just trying to completely spoil it because they didn't like the outcome. I'm going to go 3.25 out of 5. Also, big ups to the usage of Diamond Dallas Page in the Royal Rumble. The guy that was, to me, probably. Now, a lot of people saying they knew he was there. I didn't know he was there, so it was a surprise to me. I really was half expecting to see The Rock in the Rumble. I'm surprised that they didn't use him in that form because I think that might have saved it for the Philly fans. I'm saying for the Philly fans. But it kind of makes sense what they're doing with them now. Yeah, but I think fans just really need to stop being fickle and actually let that story kind of sink in because it's been a few days and actually take a look at what the bigger picture is going to be here. I mean, you guys wanted Roman Reigns last year in that spot. When y'all didn't get it, what did y'all do? Cry and bitch. They gave it to him this year. What do y'all do? Cry, bitch. That's all. And it goes to something even Rick Head said. Wrestling fans, general wrestling fans today are extremely fickle. Bandwagon, and then they'll jump to another bandwagon and they get something better than the current one they're on. And that's exactly what happened in Philadelphia. Bar done. Best match of the night, you guys already heard me say it, the World Heavyweight Championship match, because Cena and Rollins carried that match and made it as good as it is. Bork Lesnar was just there for the ride. That's all we're going to say about that. And, of course, again, big mention to the Phoenix Splash being used in the match. I know a lot of indie guys really wanted me to continue to mention that in the review. Worst match of the night, I'm gonna have to go to the Bella Twins and Natalya and Paige, and it's not because of the overall match. The finish of the match was just absolutely goofy, in my opinion. And apparently they must want Bella to channel her inner Lex Luger and knock her out with a forearm smash. And those of you who know your wrestling history, you know what I'm talking about. So overall, Royal Rumble, I'm just going to get a 3.25 out of 5. Rick, what about you? Your overall score and your picks for best and worst match of the Royal Rumble?
Well, I'm going to say the best two matches, of course, were the Triple Threat and the Royal Rumble itself. The other matches, I can't even really give a score on. I'm sorry. They were all tag team matches, and I can't even give credit on. The Triple Threat match, like you said, Brock was just there for a ride. They're there for a paycheck, not even there for the ride. Who are we kidding? The battle, the Royal Rumble was great. A lot of great surprises. Good to see Bully Ray. Yeah, they call him Bubba Ray, but you know what? I'm always gonna call him Bully Ray. Good to see DDP. I'm sorry, but he can still hit the diamond cutter better than anybody. Than Randy Orton can hit the RKO. Sorry, Marks, but that's the truth.
Some idiots on Twitter saying Diamond Dallas Page didn't deserve to be there, even though he's copying Randy Orton's finisher. I mean, how retarded is that?
Exactly. Marks, get the fucking get a grip. Get a reality check. That just shows how much people really know about wrestling.
And what I tweeted back to him, do you understand how ass backwards your statement is?
Yeah, exactly. So, and the sad thing is, a lot of people don't even realize is that Stone Cold Steve Austin copied or took his move off of DDP. He even said that in an interview, which, he has no problem. And there's nothing wrong with taking other people's moves. It just shows that they're inspired.
Exactly. I mean, Diamond Dallas Page, he wasn't the originator of the Diamond Cutter. Exactly. It was actually the Ace Crusher by Johnny Ace, or as known as People Power Johnny.
Exactly. But yeah, overall score, I'm going to give it a 2.75, but that's just for the two good last matches. Not bad, but for a Royal Rumble, that's not that great. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Royal Rumble, usually one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year, especially the Royal Rumble match. But again, the Philly crowd, after Daniel Bryan's elimination, just did not give it a fair shake. Lance, over to you, your overall score, and your picks for best and worst match, as you see a little kid in the background here trying to mess with me. Your best and worst picks of the Royal Rumble this year?
Well, best, I got to go with the co-main events. Worst, any of the tag matches, because honestly, I've said it before, I've said it again, I hate WWE's tag matches.
Well, they need to get the tag team division better, is what they need to do.
And they need to let them quit having it so formulaic in the matches. Because y'all get a look, then y'all go, then y'all do something behind the ref's back, and then end match. But anyway,
yeah.
Now, given it hindsight being 2020, I'll give it an extra 2.25, and I'll go with a 3.25. Because originally I gave it a 3, then I saw Raw.
Yep, and like I said, now that we all see Monday Night Raw, is that little girl wants to continue to mess with me. I apologize about that, guys and gals. Yeah, now that we saw Raw, and and they started building on the feuds and the angles that they need to work on to lead into WrestleMania, and especially with Fastlane coming up, it'll definitely be something. Girl, sorry, she wants to be in the video for some reason, but anyway. And now she's going to throw herself down and start pouting. Now that we saw need to see and build, that's the important thing. And now that we've seen that, I think some of the fans are starting to really now saying, you know what, maybe that was the right move for WWE to do. Even though it was kind of predictable that what they've done, it was still possibly the right thing to do, because having Daniel Bryan in there after he's been in injury as much as he's been, it would be too soon for him to have that push back. So anyway, guys and gals, what we want to know now from you guys out there, as you see the back of her head, we want to know from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on the Royal Rumble match this year. What are your overall scores, as I try to shield her, because she's not supposed to be in the video. What are your thoughts on the Royal Rumble this year, guys and gals? That's definitely what we want to know from you guys out there. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. As she's still trying, I'm pretty sure that this was America's Funniest Home Videos. This probably wouldn't win, but anyway.
I'm sorry, Billy, but you're making this more funnier than her. She is.
We definitely want to know what you guys out there have to say about the Royal Rumble. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Rickman is not playing with his tug toner. Where can fans check you out on HWR?
You can find me on Facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. You can also check me out on YouTube, Dailymotion, and also catch a ride on SoundCloud.com. Just look us up on HWR Show.
Lance, what can I expect to see from your channel over on YouTube.com/LanceMossTV?
Album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck on Mexican videos, musical equipment reviews, some rants, some other stuff, some random stuff, and also the archives of controversies and scandals from Hardcore Wrestling Radio.
Guys and gals, WGS-TV is also on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The links to those pages are in the description box. Be sure you expand that description box and check out the links below. Don't forget to follow me on the Facebook page, facebook.com/WGS-TV, and don't forget to please subscribe if you haven't yet to youtube.com/WrestleGamer. So with that being said, for the hardcore host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, Rick Head, and the incomparable Lance Moss from Lance Moss TV, I'm the Wrestle Gamer, Bill Billy Boudreaux, saying old school is cool.
This is gonna take a... Oh my God! Talk about cutting someone off in the back!
And I do apologize. And all the fans of Star Trek, I apologize for basically insulting Scotty.